The announcement came quietly on a Thursday morning, buried beneath headlines about politics and celebrity gossip. But within hours, the world realized that NASA's warning was unlike anything humanity had faced in decades. A massive solar storm is heading toward Earth, the statement read. Expected arrival, 72 hours. Scientists had long studied the sun's cycles, predicting solar flares and coronal mass ejections. But this one, dubbed Solar Event X29, was different. The data coming from the Solar Dynamics Observatory showed a wave of energy so strong it could disrupt satellites, power grids, and even global communications. Dr. Evelyn Hart, NASA's leading heliophysicist, hadn't slept in 2 days. Sitting before a wall of screens in the Goddard Space Flight Center, she watched real-time solar imagery, her pulse syncing with the rhythm of the solar wind graphs. If the magnetic field doesn't deflect it, we're looking at a planet-wide blackout, she said quietly to her team. The room fell silent. Around the world, governments scrambled into emergency meetings, while social media erupted in panic. Hashtags like #SolarStorm2025 and #The Sun is Coming trended within minutes. News anchors tried to calm the public, explaining that most solar storms only cause minor disruptions. But this one carried the potential of a Carrington-level event, the same kind of geomagnetic storm that in 1859 set telegraph wires on fire and sent auroras as far south as Cuba. As the hours ticked down, NASA worked with SpaceX and the European Space Agency to shut down satellites and move the International Space Station into safe configuration. Air traffic controllers were told to prepare for potential GPS failures. Banks rushed to back up digital systems and physical ledgers, while governments issued advisories urging people to keep flashlights, batteries, and bottled water on hand. In small towns and big cities alike, fear and wonder mingled in equal measure. People gathered on rooftops and beaches, staring up at the sky as if waiting for the heavens to give a sign. By the second day, faint auroras began to shimmer far beyond their usual reach, purple and green curtains of light dancing over cities like Paris, New York, and Tokyo. Even through the fear, it was breathtaking. "It's beautiful," whispered a young boy in Alaska, watching with his father. "Yes," his father said, "and dangerous." Meanwhile, inside NASA's control room, Dr. Hart and her team monitored the solar wind speed, 800 kilometers per second and climbing. "Impact in 12 hours, someone said. Evelyn exhaled slowly. "Brace for magnetospheric compression." Then at 3:42 a.m. UTC, the first wave hit. Across the world, power grids flickered. In India, an entire state went dark for 7 minutes. In Canada, transformers sparked in the cold night air. GPS systems failed. Airline pilots switched to manual navigation, and global communication satellites temporarily lost signal. For 2 hours, the world teetered on the edge of a complete blackout. But in the midst of the chaos, something miraculous happened. The Earth's magnetic field, compressed but resilient, deflected the brunt of the solar blast. It wasn't perfect. Some systems failed, minor fires broke out, and satellites would take weeks to recover. But civilization endured. By dawn, the worst had passed. The auroras lingered, painting the horizon in waves of emerald and violet light, as if the planet itself were breathing a sigh of relief. When the data finally stabilized, Evelyn slumped back in her chair, tears in her eyes. "We were lucky," she whispered. Later that day, NASA held a global press conference. "The storm has passed," Dr. Hart announced, "but this was a warning." She explained that the sun was entering a hyperactive phase in its 11-year cycle. Future storms could be stronger. "We have the technology to predict them," she said, "but not yet the infrastructure to survive them easily." Around the world, people began to reflect on how dependent humanity had become on invisible systems: electricity, satellites, and the internet. For a brief moment, when those things vanished, people had been forced to look up from their screens and see the sky again. In the days that followed, news outlets called it the Great Solar Scare. Governments began investing billions into grid hardening, space weather forecasting, and magnetic shielding technology. Social media turned the event into both a meme and a miracle story. But to those who had witnessed the chaos firsthand, it was more than that. It was a humbling reminder that, despite all of humanity's progress, we still lived in the shadow of a star that could change everything with a single flare. Dr. Hart, looking out the window of NASA's headquarters a week later, saw the sun rising, a perfect orange disk cutting through the morning haze. She smiled faintly. "Not our enemy," she murmured, "just our teacher." The storm had come and gone, but it left behind a renewed sense of unity